Hey everyone, I'm Mind, and this is my early review of set 71795, the Temple of the Dragon Energy Cores from the very first Ninjago Dragons Rising wave. This set contains 1,029 pieces, 6 minifigures, and will retail for $94.99 in the US. This set, of course, is not officially released until June 1st, 2023, but it was sent to me early by the LEGO group through the LEGO Ambassador Network, but all opinions expressed in this video are my own. Real quick, before I get started, I'd just like to ask you guys please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm doing early reviews of all the Summer 2023 LEGO Ninjago sets, including the Ninjago City markets, as well as early reviews of other themes such as LEGO Monkey Kid and LEGO City, and a ton of other exciting stuff down the line. So if any of that sounds like something you'd be interested in, by liking this video and subscribing to the channel, that'll help put my videos in your feed as soon as they're posted and also really help support me and the channel. But with all that being said, let's get on to the review. So here's the Temple of the Dragon Energy Cores, and this is one of the sets that I was most excited for. Personally, while I love all LEGO sets, my absolute favorite type of LEGO set is location builds. So I love whenever we get temples in Ninjago, and when we got pictures of this, I knew this was one of the best looking ones I had ever seen. And then after building it up, yeah, I still agree. I love the build of this set. Just taking it all in right here, it's so cool the way this temple is sort of built on top of a tree. You can see the tree starts on the left side, but then the bulk of it's over here on the right side. I love how vertical this temple is too. Normally when we get a temple, it's wider than it is tall, but no, especially if you discount the tree on the side, this one's incredibly vertical, which gives it a very unique look and makes it very easy to store on a shelf too. Of course, as of me filming this review, Ninjago Dragons Rising is not aired yet, but I'm pretty sure that lore-wise, this temple's gonna be a really big deal on the show, so that also makes the set extra cool. But yeah, I want to give you a moment to take everything in before moving it up close, but now let me move the camera up a little bit closer, so you can see every little bit of the temple in more detail. So of course, we'll start here at the base of the temple, and yeah, as I mentioned with that tree, I love how built into the terrain everything is. The temple feels very like rustic and run down while also still feeling very elegant. I love like all the stones at the base and how varied everything is, especially with like the stairway to enter. They use like the slope pieces of course to create some variation, but also using these rounded pieces to have some open studs, along with the flat tiles and just regular studs. It definitely makes the entrance look very run down, which fits the whole vibe that this temple's going for. There's two little statues out front too, which are very cute. They use like roller skate pieces at the top, but you can imagine those as like eyes and this is like a little nose. I can't say exactly what creature that's supposed to be, but it's very creative parts use. I think it's very cute. There's also another little stone statue off to the side right here. You can see there's a little stick coming out of the ground right here too. This might be one of the roots of the tree. And on it there's hanging a little lantern. Now there's quite a few of these in the set and they have printed parts on them. And correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I believe this is an all new printed part for this set. Like maybe it comes in one of the Chinese New Year sets or something, but I don't know, I looked it up and I didn't see this exact lantern design anywhere. There's similar ones in other sets, but I believe this one's all new for this set. And you can see it's just got this symbol on it, which I'm not sure exactly what that means, but if it is new for this set, that's probably something we'll find out in the show eventually. There's this little well off to the side too, and you can see there's a tree growing next to that, and there's something pretty cool inside that well. I'm actually going to take the well piece off entirely so you can see it a little bit easier, but yeah, this sticker part's what's at the bottom of the well, and you can see that's not water, it's like this green swirling energy, so I'm very curious what that means. We also have the Spirit of the Temple minifigure who's in this set, and he is also exclusive to this set, and he has a very similar color scheme to this, so we'll take a look at him when we take a look at the minifigures, but maybe this has something to do with that. Very curious though, definitely gives off kind of ominous vibes. There's also this rubber rope piece that connects to the tree and goes higher up the building. And you can see there's three little things hanging off of it. I think these are meant to represent little pieces of paper. And they've got some text written in jargon. And if we translate that back to standard characters, it's the letter O, then the letter W or R. I'm not entirely sure because of this font. I think it's probably meant to be W, but it could be R. And then I believe C is the final letter. So O-R-C, orc, or O-W-C, which is not a word. So yeah, I'm not sure which it is. O-W-C looks correct, but O-R-C is an actual word. But again, even if O-R-C is an actual word, I don't know what's orc in the context of this set. So if anybody has any theories as to what all this means, let me know. Cause yeah, I'm kind of drawing a blank. I guess it could be something in the show we just haven't heard of. But yeah, I cannot think of what these letters could mean. But now coming back to the main entranceway, you can see there's these stickered pieces with these dragon symbols on them. They're golden dragon faces, but they're carved into stone, and the stone looks really run down. And that dragon face is the same one that's on the back torso prints of all the main ninja for this wave. It's like this dragon with these two big horns and this orb in the center. I assume the orb represents one of the dragon energy cores, which are the collectibles in the sets for this wave. You'll actually see one in a moment. And then there's also double doors here, which can swing open, and we'll take a look at the interior in a little bit. I want to finish the exterior first, though. I like the shark heads as door handles here, though. That's really cool. Above all that, we have yet another symbol. This one has a circle in the middle and then feathers surrounding it, and it looks like there's some kind of energy bursting from it. Again, probably something we'll find out in the show, but I have no clue what that means yet. Then there's like this really curvy roof, which I love the shaping of that. That's so cool. But the coolest part about this is actually they wanted you to be able to display minifigures on it, to have like the ninja running up the roof. So yeah, even though it's all curvy, there's a few little studs sticking out of it. So if you want to take one of the ninja in the set, you can attach them to any of these, and that way you can have them walking up the temple. That is just so much fun to me. The idea of ninja climbing up buildings is something that's pretty well known in pop culture, so I really like that the set took the care to allow you to actually do that. And I think that's just such a fun idea to be able to stage fight scenes on the roof. Super cool. And then we get to the second level of the building, and on the walls you have the scroll out front. It looks like it's a bit tattered with some holes in it, but then once again you have more text. This one's a little easier to translate. It just says temple, which, like, yes, this is a temple. It's got a sign that says temple. Okay, that makes sense. I like how this is framed though. That looks good. And the staffs around the side are a nice touch. Moving up again, we have a much flatter roof, though there's still a few studs if you want to pose minifigures. Definitely prefer how the lower roof looks, but I think they all go together nicely. You can see this roof continues on the other side as well, though there's a break in the middle for this bridge. The walls of the building are a little bit plain here, but from the front there's a big window where you can see the dragon energy core, and a little bit more foliage coming out the side. You can see another one of those lanterns hangs there. And then moving up yet another level, the roof gets even more basic, and I guess you could pose figures like on these studs right here, but the blue part itself doesn't have any studs anymore. And you can see there's a giant bell in the center, which again we'll take a closer look at when we move inside, but that actually has the same symbol on it that the lanterns have. So yeah, actually that pretty much solidifies to me that those are new for this set. That symbol is something new for this year, we just don't know what it is yet. I assume something to do with the merge or the dragon energy cores or both. And the walls are similar around the corner, though of course you can't see that symbol as well. And then coming up to the very top level, it's a nice way to top things off. They used like the new mech finger pieces that were introduced earlier this year to be like corners in the temple, which I think those look really good. Monkey Kid did a very similar thing with its sets in the first half of the year, so it's cool to see Ninjago doing it too. And yeah, then the roof is very smooth, though there is a few little gaps in it. Again, I guess to show how run down this building is. That's a simple yet effective technique. And then it's all topped up with like a golden spike. Now coming back down, we've of course got the tree on the outside. This is definitely the part with the most full foliage. I like these bright yellow leaves that they use. The bright orange leaves are used in quite a few sets, but bright yellow I think might be all new, or at the very least not very common. So it helps give the tree in this set a very unique identity. Definitely super autumny and very pretty. There's a little flag out here. Again, looks a bit run down, tattered around the edges. And it's once again got that feather symbol that we saw at the entrance to the temple. And here's just a very beautiful bridge. You can see it connects to the level that has the dragon energy core, and it just allows you to walk across this little balcony right here. You could just have a minifigure stand here and look out, and it just adds so much life to the build. There's how the bridge looks from the top. You can see it's one of the guardrail pieces, and as such there's not really studs to pose minifigures. However, you could put them on the ends if you wanted to. And then there's jumper pieces before and after the bridge. I like the use of the golden frying pan pieces to add extra detail. That's very silly yet effective. And then there's also a little play feature with this part of the build. If you push down on this flag piece right here, this balcony will actually pop off. Now if I hit it harder, it'll actually pop off further. Let me try that again. Like if I do it quickly. Okay, it's a bit of a heavier object, so it doesn't really pop, but the idea with that is it's just meant to be a trap for the ninja. You have them standing out there, and then uh-oh, there they go. There's how the build looks with the balcony removed. You can see it's just this piece right here that pushes it upwards, and that causes it to fall off. And then, of course, it's very easy to attach back on when you're ready to. There you go. Then we can move down the tree some more, and wow, this is all just so gorgeous. I love like all the varied colors. Of course, brown's the main color, but they also use dark orange and little touches of olive green, as well as what, this is regular nougat? Again, just helps add to that very natural feel of this tree. I love all the varied angles too. Like, it is very angular, but it's also quite chunky. There's no like small, intricate little angles. All the pieces are quite big, very similar to how you would see a tree grow in real life. They use like these huge windshield pieces in solid brown to be like large parts of the trunk, and I think those work perfectly. Really cool to see that part because you don't get to see it used all too often. I believe that's one that's been around forever though. You can see there's a little entrance into the second level from the tree right here. There's another one, there's little lanterns hanging down. And then yeah, here's the rest of the tree from the side. You see there's a few more branches coming out with leaves on them, but the bulk of everything's at the top. But now moving to the interior of the build, there's a lot of pretty cool stuff here. So first, of course, this is the entrance. Here are the double doors that open. You can see there's more of those worn down stairs on the inside, and then just this large flat platform where you can put some minifigures in here. There's another stickered sign piece with that dragon face on it, though this one looks a bit older and more run down. It's also in green, which might match that big green dragon that we saw in the show. And that's at the entrance to this little room right here. And it seems like this is meant to be a tiny little part of a library. Because in here it looks like there's a little bookshelf, and there's yet another stickered part in the back right there. And this one might be giving us a pretty big hint as to what we're going to see in the show. So you can see it's got that dragon symbol that we recognize in the center right there, but then 6 more dragon symbols surrounding it. In these sets, there's 6 total dragon energy cores to collect. However, there is is 7 dragon faces here if we count the one in the center, so maybe there's a dragon energy core we haven't seen yet that just doesn't come in these sets. But yeah, you can see the dragon faces around the sides seem to each represent a different element, potentially. They're not all immediately clear, but this one on the top right definitely looks like lightning. This one in the bottom middle looks like it could be earth. Top middle could be fire. Bottom right might be ice. Then that could be water, and that's maybe energy? Though there's a chance the dragons don't match the elements of the ninja, but maybe there's like 7 dragon guardians that the ninja are tracking down in this show, and there's a dragon energy core that corresponds with each of them. I don't know, that's purely me theorizing. But if you guys have any other ideas of your own, let me know in the comments. I'd be very curious to hear. But that's most of what there is to this room, at least for now. And you can see that room's actually built into the tree. So now let's go up to the second floor. And this one's fairly simple. You can see there's just some room in here to post some minifigures. And there's this little cone piece in the wall and these 2 barrels stacked up right here. This could be pulled out and then I'll actually drop those barrels down. And that's meant to be a trap for the ninja. So if you pull it, the barrels will drop out and hit the ninja on the floor below. That play feature's fun and effective, I like it. Then coming to the interior part of the second level, here you can see there's that doorway that gives you access to the tree on the outside. But in here there's just a little platform, 2 candles on the wall, and this is yet another play feature. So I think the idea is the Spirit of the Temple minifigure is meant to be like a possessed statue. Now his colors definitely don't match. It would have been cool to get like a proper just stone statue here, because I feel like this guy definitely feels a little out of place. But what you do is you turn this gear piece on the side, and that'll just pop that piece off. So again, that's just meant to be another trap for whoever's exploring the temple. They come up here and, uh-oh, the statue attacks. Again, pretty simple to see how that works. The gear just turns this piece right here, and that pushes the statue platform out of the way. Then coming up to the third level, this one you can see is where the dragon energy core is stored. This also has the exit to the bridge right here. But yeah, you can see the dragon energy core is on a little pedestal. They use like dragon hilts on the side, which look really good. And then there's text beneath it. Again, it's the same thing we saw in those banners. And you know what? I'm looking at the Ninjago alphabet. Maybe it's ORB, orb? Because that makes sense, right? That'd make a little more sense, calling the dragon energy cores orbs. Because yes, they are orbs. However, I don't know. If you like the Ninjago alphabet, maybe that's a B, but that doesn't look like how they normally draw B. So potentially that's what it is. But I don't know. I'm still a little lost. But anyway, yeah, whatever's on those banners down there, that's also what's right here. And there you can see that's where the dragon energy core is kept. You can of course remove that if you want. There's how it looks removed from the stand. And here's the dragon energy core on its own. These are really cool, and this is probably one of the coolest ones because this one's actually 2 colors. It's gold and then trans clear on the outside. In terms of size, I think these are a little bit bigger than just like the classic Lego ball pieces that we had since like Bionicle, but you can see they have a much more intricate design, being dual molded with like this really cool shaping on the inside. I love how these look, and they are the collectibles of this wave. In terms of the rarity of this one's actually pretty common. It might be the most common one, because while this is the only full-size set that this comes in, this exact dragon energy core comes in every single gimmick spinner set, so you can get it for only $11 if you want. So definitely not the rarest piece in this set, but still nice to get, especially if you're not planning on getting any of the gimmick sets. It's very easy just to pop it back into the display area whenever you want, and you can roll it around in there, display it however you want. And then finally moving to the topmost level on the inside, here we have the opposite side of the bell, and yeah, if you move that bell back and forth, you can like pretend it's ringing. There's a little tassel at the bottom which works really well, but there's not a ton else to it. Just wiggle it back and forth. A few studs, but you probably can't fit minifigures with the bell also in here. So yeah, I don't have a ton else to say on that. You already saw what the sticker looked like from the front. Oh, and also one more thing before I forget, there's this piece at the bottom right here, and it controls this tree on the outside. So if you turn it, you can make the tree sort of fall over if you wanted to. The second gear here just sort of keeps it in place. So yeah, not a crazy play feature, and there's not even a ton of room for the tree to move, but that option's there if you want to add like a little bit of motion to your build. And there you go, there is the main build of the Temple of the Dragon Energy Cores. That's of course not everything in this set. There's one small side build, and then we're also going to look at the minifigures. But yeah, in terms of build, I really like this set. I think it's a ton of fun, super detailed, looks great for display, and it's also probably pretty fun for play. My biggest criticism is I just wish there was maybe a little bit more interior space to actually pose the minifigures. It's fine on like the bottom floor, but as you move up, it just becomes less and less space. So I would have liked maybe a little bit more there, but that's of course always something you could customize. You can always expand upon this temple. If this helped keep the price down, then I think it's a good thing. And I'll talk more about the price at the end of this video, but I actually think it's pretty good on this set. But yeah, I'll get into if I recommend this or not, etc. at the end of the video. For now, let's take a look at the side build. Here is the one and only side build in this set. It's this little shrine that has a weapon out front. And you can see it's got 2 of those printed lanterns hanging down. They are double-sided, by the way. That symbol's on both sides. And yeah, there's this golden spear here, which you can remove. And if you remove it there, you can see the sticker piece behind it. It's just like a stone carving, but it's cracking, and there's this green energy coming through. Certainly very interesting, and it looks cool. I'm happy it's here. Would have been nice if it had a place in the temple to actually connect it to the main build, but I think it's fine. That's off to the side. And again, it's always something you can do with your own parts. It's Lego. I don't have a ton else to say about it, but it's at the very least neat. Now, here are the first two minifigures in this set. We have the all-new versions of Nya and Cole for this wave, both of which are relatively uncommon figures. Cole only comes in one other set this wave, and Nya does come in two others. However, those sets are a 4+ set, and the Ninjago City Markets, which is a huge set. So this is the only normal size set that she comes in, which is a little bit strange because she's going to be one of the big characters in this new season of the show, while someone like Cole isn't. But at the very least, I am glad that you get her here. Her new suit, though, is probably one of my favorites. She uses blue as her main color, which I don't know if she's ever done before. She's definitely used blue as a secondary color lots, but this time around, Gunmetal Gray is the secondary color, and honestly, it looks really good. She uses metallic printing for that secondary color, which is something that the other ninja don't do, so as such, it makes this figure feel a lot higher quality. All the ninja this wave have shoe printing too, which I know sounds like a little thing, but it's something that we don't always get, so it is nice to see. However, my favorite part about this figure is how she has that dark red belt right there. That reminds me a lot of like her Hands of Time suit. It's sort of a callback to Nya's early days as a ninja, where she was still wearing her Samurai X colors even though she was the water ninja. And she'd kind of ditched the red completely recently, which I was fine with. I like the gunmetal gray and blue suits, but I don't know, the belt's like a nice way to call back to it without it having to be a major part of this minifigure. And then of course all the ninja this wave have these two new pieces that make up their masks. There's a lower piece that has like armor on it, and then an upper piece which is just like the top of the hood. And I honestly think these new masks look really good. The head movement is pretty restricted, which is disappointing, but in terms of appearance I do think they look nice. Each of the minifigures have these like new digital eyes for their faces too. Kind of similar to Prime Empire, though this time around they're actually unique, unlike Prime Empire where they all have the same digital eyes. So you can see the eyes on Nya are sort of like the seafoam green, and then she's sort of got water swirling around it, and then the shape of the eyes is also sort of like rounded triangular, while with Cole the eyes are super rectangular, and then he's got like those orange rocks around him. Speaking of Cole, the rest of the minifigure's pretty good too. I especially love this leg print. I think it's gorgeous. That like slight orange trim looks so pretty, and I love the little streak of gold on the belt too. That's a really nice touch. The torso print I don't think is as good, but still pretty cool. The orange maybe seems like a bit much. That's like very bright compared to the rest of the suit, so I maybe would have preferred to tone it down a bit. Just have it in small streaks like you have it in the legs. But still, I definitely don't think it looks bad. And orange is one of Cole's colors, so it does work for him. Both ninja have their symbol in the bottom right corner of their torso. Oh, and then also, of course, these mask pieces. They have like the ZX sword holders at the back, so if you want to take their katanas and put them around their backs, you can. And that is always quite cool to see. Turning them back around to the front, if we take these upper hood pieces off, there you can see more of their face prints. And while these pieces are not included in this set, I know a lot of people are curious what the ninja look like with their hair pieces on. So here is Nya and Cole with their hair pieces. You can see those lower mask pieces were designed so the hair still fits on top, which that's something I really appreciate. And if we turn to the alternate faces to get rid of those digital eyes, you can see how good the hair pieces actually look with the new armor. Like, both of these two look fantastic. In my opinion, that actually looks way better than having the full hood up. But removing the mask pieces completely, there's a look at the minifigure's full face prints as well as torso prints. And yeah, of course, those two new face prints are all new for this wave, and I think both of them are really great. Cole especially, having the smile for him is awesome. We did get an open mouth smile for him before with Prime Empire, but comparing those two, you can see the new one's a lot better. Just a better general use expression. I feel like the old one was very exaggerated. Though I will say this probably isn't the best face for Cole. I feel like this doesn't exactly capture his personality in the show, and it could be done better. Still, I'll take any new face print, and I'm happy to see it. And then very similar thing with Nya. She's just got an open mouth smile right here. Nya's one of the ninja who's had like the least total expressions, and while we have had an open mouth smile for her before, this one is very different because her teeth are still closed, and I think this one is significantly better than the old one. However, I would have preferred just an angry face for Nya, because all the other ninja have plenty of angry faces, but Nya's only got one, and it's this one. This is her third total smiling face, because we also have these, or actually fourth if we count Prime Empire as well. So yeah, while I think this is probably our best smiling Nya, I really didn't need another smiling Nya. I would have preferred an angry Nya, or surprised, or scared, anything that we haven't had before. So while I think this is very show accurate, and it's nice to get, I don't know if it was the best choice overall. But anyway, yeah, that's some of their hair pieces. As I mentioned, the hair pieces do not come in this set. I just wanted to show you what they look like with them. And then looking at the full torsos, I love how Nya has dark red in her undershirt too, to match with the belt. You can't see that when the armor's on, but with it off, it looks super cool. And then you can see they each have their element represented in these gold areas at the top. Nya's got little water waves, and Cole's got little bits of rock. And then turning them around, there's a look at their alternate faces as well as their back torso prints. There you can see those full digital eye designs. And then they each have that dragon symbol that we saw in the front of the temple, though with their element surrounding it. Nya's got like this silver water, which looks really cool. And then Cole's got these like black rocks coming out on top of the orange. And then here's one last look at the digital eyes with their hair pieces. I think Nya actually looks really cool like that. And then here are the next two minifigures in this set. We have the Dragons Rising version of Kai, as well as the exclusive Spirit of the Temple. And I'm not going to do the whole hairpiece thing with Kai in this video because I already did it in my review of the Destiny's Bounty, so go check that review out if you want to see him like with his hairpiece and everything. But I'll still talk about the rest of the figure here. And yeah, I mean, he looks really good. The digital eyes on him are more yellow, and very rectangular, though not as rectangular as Cole's are. And then of course he just uses red as his main color, with a dark red printing on top of it. Fairly standard for a Kai suit, though I do really like this black belt right here. That definitely makes this guy stand out. Reminds me a lot of his Hands of Time suit, which is actually very interesting that both Nya and Kai kind of resemble their Hands of Time suits. Yeah, I think he's one of the weaker ones of the total collection, but still quite cool. Again, he's got that armor out the back, and then if we take his mask pieces off, there's what the full figure looks like with everything removed. You can see those eyes on his face, he's got little flames coming up around the sides, and then turning him around, there's his alternate face, which in my opinion is one of the best Kai faces we've ever gotten. It just captures his personality from the show so perfectly. And then yeah, he's got that dragon symbol that the rest of them have, and little dark red flames bursting out around it. I feel like there's a fine line between colors popping too much and not popping enough. I think the Cole figure from this wave, the orange maybe pops a little too much, while with Kai, the dark red's maybe a little bit too dull, but those are very minor things. I still think both figures are quite good. And then the Spirit of the Temple. Wow, this guy is really interesting, huh? I love the colors on him, first off. The black base to give him like that ghostly, creepy feel, but then all like the lime green printing on top of him, as well as like little dark green pieces. We've gotten ghosts many times in Ninjago before, but this one is super unique. He's got that feather symbol that we saw on the temple on his belt, and you can see instead of like an undershirt, he has lots of little spirits in there, like those tiny little faces crawling around. Very creepy for sure. He uses like the classic LEGO Jedi hood piece, and if we remove that, you can see his full face print. It also looks like there's some text written on his torso, and it actually looks like it says the word spirit. Now, interestingly, the R is written here the same way that letter I thought might be a W was on the stickers in the actual temple. So maybe that word is orb. I'm still not convinced on the B, because the way they wrote that B does not look right. But yeah, this definitely says spirit, and that R does match up. Anyway, really cool face print on this guy. You can see he's just got this dark green face, and like this spectral beard that's like raising up, these really intense eyebrows, and these like soulless white eyes. And then if we turn him around, he's got like a more neutral face. It looks like he's meant to be a statue. I don't even know how well that's picking up on camera. I hope you guys can see that. I don't know. And editing, if it's not visible, I'll take a picture of it and put it right next to it. But yeah, I guess this makes sense for him being the statue, because he's got like cracks on his face, and he kind of looks like Walter White from Breaking Bad. And then he's got that word spirit written there again, and like this energy surrounding it. No clue what the deal with this guy is. I saw some theories that maybe he is like the spirit of the departed realm, because obviously we know with the merge, like what's the departed realm going to do with the merge? Are all the dead characters in the show just going to come back to life? But that's purely just a theory. I have no way of knowing. Let me know in the comments if you guys have any theories about who this guy is. But now let's move on to the final two minifigures. And the final two minifigures in this set are two of the main villains for this wave. We have Empress Beatrix and we have Lord Ras. Lord Ras comes in quite a few sets, but Empress Beatrix only comes in two, and this is the cheapest set that she comes in. So that's very nice to see her here, and she's a super cool minifigure. I love the hairpiece that she has, like the white hair parted off to one side. That part's been around for about a year or maybe two now, but I always love seeing it and happy to get into more colors. The only issue with it though is it shows her alternate face around the back. You can see a little bit of her scowl back there, and that's very disappointing to see. It would have been better if they just didn't give her an alternate face at all, but I suppose you could just rub off that alternate face if it bothers you. If you turn the face the other way around though, you can still see a little bit, specifically a bit of her cheekbone, but it's not nearly as obvious. And also you can just rotate this hairpiece a little bit, and that'll cover it up completely, though then her hair won't be 100% accurate from the front. She's got like these golden markings on her face, and you can see she's got this very angry expression, which I think looks great. But the coolest part about her, in my opinion, are her torso and legs. She's got like these black robes that continue down, and all these intricate little gold lines. I said in another review that they remind me a lot of like circuit boards. I'm curious if these guys have anything to do with technology, because that's definitely the vibes they get from their clothing. And actually I guess that would make sense, because she also has like this giant laser sword, kind of lightsaber-like, though obviously a much bigger blade. And then she's got this golden armor piece, which a lot of the villains have this wave. You can see Ras has the exact same one. And then removing that, there's a full look at her torso print. She's got like this orange energy flowing all throughout, including that like orange core in the center. And then turning her around, there's a back torso print. She's got like this hexagonal symbol, which a lot of the Imperium have. I would assume that's probably the symbol of the Imperium. And you've also got like these dark red banners hanging down back here, as well as more of that like circuitry design. And then finally, Ras is awesome. He's like this wolf creature. A lot of people are theorizing that maybe he's from Shima, which would be really neat to see. He's got arm printing too, one of the first Ninjago figures in a wide release set to have that. Him and Sora, along with Cole RX, back from 2016. But yeah, I love his design. He's got like purple stripes on his forehead, these like bright orange eyes, and his weapon's pretty cool too. It's like this giant hammer. It uses like the roller skate pieces on it to add some extra texture, and like some trans orange at the end to indicate that's like, and some trans orange at the end to indicate that it's glowing. And then if we remove his headpiece, there's a full look at his torso print. I love the gray wraps underneath. I think that looks fantastic. And again, more of that like golden circuitry design, though this time on dark red, which is another really great color combination. And then looking at his leg print, it looks like he has plated golden armor. It definitely seems like this guy's a warrior ready for battle. Taking a look at his arm printing, you can see there's more of those purple stripes, definitely sort of tiger-like. And then he has golden bracelets, which I assume is meant to connect with his gloves. Finally, around the back, he's got that same symbol that Beatrix has. Yeah, two really cool figures all around. Beatrix is really rare, and this is the cheapest way to get her, so it's super nice to get her in this set. set. And Raspo is more common, does seem like he's one of the major villains of this wave, so it's always nice to have another way to get him too. And so, overall, what are my thoughts on this set? I would say I recommend it 100%. Obviously, it's a bigger set, so it's not going to be for everybody, but if you've got money to spend and you're only going to be buying a few sets this wave, I would say this is a fairly good one to pick up. For one, if you're trying to collect all the ninja, this is one of the few sets that come with Nya, so if you don't get this one, your other options are a 4+ set or a $370 set, so this might be the best choice out of those. But you also get 2 of the main villains, an exclusive minifigure, and just 2 other ninja, which are nice to see. But that's just the minifigures. The build too is gorgeous, there's tons to play with, and I think this is probably going to be a pretty lore-heavy set too. Again, I can't say for sure because the show's not out yet, but it does seem like there's a lot here that's going to matter. So yeah, whether you're collecting for play or for display, this set's great for both. It looks super pretty on a shelf, and there's also tons of stuff to play with if that's what you want to do. So yeah, 100%, I could not recommend this set enough. If you like what you saw and you can afford it, I'd say this set is definitely a very good one to get. But of course, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this set in the comments below. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and let me know in the comments which Ninjago Dragons Rising set do you want to see an early review on next. And as for this video, I think that's about all I have to say. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!